Okay. Welcome and thank you for joining me today for this 15-minute franchisee interview. My name is Jenna. I am the Director of Franchise Development with Right at Home, and I'm very excited to meet with you today. So if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and introduce yourself, the number of territories you own, your location, and when you became a Right at Home owner.
Sure, great. Thank you, Jenna. My name is TJ Henley. My wife and I, Wendy, we purchased two territories with Right at Home starting in June 1st of 2025. Those territories are located in the Colorado Springs general area.
Nice. Okay. Well, welcome to the Right at Home family.
Thank you.
Very happy to have you. So, what was your background before becoming an owner with Right at Home?
Yeah, great question. My wife and I have kind of been serial entrepreneurs over the years. We had a mortgage company that we sold about 5 years ago. And then, out of just kind of something I fell into, I started doing financial advisory work for a firm for about 4.5 years before this opportunity to work with Right at Home came along.
Nice. All right. And why did you choose Right at Home?
Yeah, so kind of a life journey a little bit. My grandmother and my aunt and my mother-in-law had all had experiences needing some type of assistance as they aged. And we had two pretty good experiences. One was with the VA with my grandmother, one was with a memory care facility for my aunt. And then we had one not so great experience with a private caregiver for my mother-in-law. And it didn't go well because we didn't have that accountability of an agency to work with. And it just didn't end in a really good situation with her. And so there was our professional level kind of experience with that. But then also, I had a friend who had been doing this for about 13 years, and financially, he was doing very well with it. And I was very intrigued because my wife and I have always wanted to be involved with businesses that served a purpose other than just the financial means of making money.
Mm,
So when we looked at having our mortgage company, it's because we were helping people get, mortgages to buy their first home or their dream home or whatever. That was really a motivating factor for us. And so when we saw this field of professional ability to do what we love to do and to serve people, man, it really spoke to us.
mm. I love that. And just really even having that firsthand experience and knowing, what you want to provide to your community, I'm sure, made
Yeah.
an impact in that decision. So thank you for sharing your story.
Mhm.
And so going into your business, you walked into a business that was existing. So you already had staff, you had caregivers, you had clients, right? So
Yeah.
talk to us a little bit about what that typical, if really probably wasn't typical, but walk us through what a typical day looked like for you.
Well, you're right. We came in, we had a set of caregivers, we had a small client base, and we had a couple office staff that had been with this office. So we bought a Rocco location, so it had been corporate owned, and they had been with previous owners before it was a Rocco location. So one of the benefits I think that we had was they had both a private owner experience and they had a corporate owned experience. And so when we came back in as the owners, our office staff had kind of an understanding and an expectation of what those changes would be like.
Mm,
They had good experience that really helped us because we didn't come into this field with any health background really to speak of at all.
mhm,
I mean, if you want to consider the fact that our daughter was a registered nurse, that was about as close to experience as we had in this field. So
mhm,
just knowing some of the lingo, knowing some of the state laws and requirements, compliance things, we kind of had a running start into that, which is what we were looking for, to be honest. We weren't looking for ourselves and being in our 50s. We just weren't wanting to start from the ground up.
mhm,
Although I encourage any people that are looking for that the support system you're looking for, we found with Right at Home. So it was a combination between our current office staff and the support of our Right Start coach and just really all the people. We have not been turned away from help in any area that we've looked for
mhm,
with Right at Home, which was a big thing for us. Not knowing this space really well, we knew there were franchise opportunities. We knew there were private opportunities. I think the franchise model works for folks who, especially, are new to this field because Right at Home corporate provided so much support for us and still continue to do so today. What are we? I don't know, 6, 7 months into this process. So getting started right out of the gate, it was nice to have clients. It was nice to have things to put our attention and a focus to that were already up and running. But there were things that we definitely wanted to change. We wanted to make our own stamp and our own culture environment. And yeah, that's what we were looking for and what we found here.
I love it. And, if we can stay on the support piece for just a moment,
Sure.
it sounds like you really felt you got the support you needed. So, when you think of all the support that Right at Home does provide, what part do you feel has been the most valuable?
Ooh, the most valuable, from the standpoint that, sales kind of drives not everything, but it certainly drives a big component. If you can't make sales, all the other problems are kind of background problems. Between the sales and the marketing, I would say for us is what has helped us be to the level of success that we are now in a very short time frame. There's a lot to opening a business. I mean, whether it's your bank accounts and your LLCs and your CPAs and all of the kind of grunt work that you do behind the scenes, being able to have someone who the website wasn't something I had to mess with, not having marketing going out. Well, that was happening. All of those things, because of the corporate support, were all there. So I could really focus more on caregiver retention, caregiver recruitment. I could focus on other components to the business because there were just a lot of things that were in place or are in place. I think this, I didn't start one from the ground up, but I know the culture around Right at Home and what they were offering to us, as well as, people that we went through home improvement with. That we were all there together. They were getting the same level of support that we were. We were having those conversations as we started out. So, yeah, it was really sales and marketing. Lisa Thompson in sales, Joe, all of the coaches that rallied around us, and then we got assigned Stacy, who was our Right Start coach. All of those resources were really impactful, but I think the thing that I didn't have to worry about as much was really kind of that startup marketing piece. Now,
Mhm.
it's not everything that you want to do in marketing, but it's nice that there are people who understand how this space is and didn't have to build it from the ground up. I could just kind of plug into what was already there, follow their instructions, do what
Yeah.
they ask you to do.
Mhm.
Use their experience. You might find your market's a little bit different. We've found some things here in Colorado Springs that we have customized our sales and marketing approaches towards, but we didn't have to build it from the ground up. That support mechanism was already there. We're just making tweaks that fit what our market really needs.
Follow the process, right?
Follow the process.
Works. All
Mhm.
right. So, in thinking about your experience so far, I'd love for you to share a story or a moment that was meaningful or where you felt you really made an impact.
So, I think of a few caregiver stories, but I also want to highlight that we got into this business to impact people that really needed assistance. And we came across a couple that she had early onset dementia. She's 70 years old, and she got to the point where truly activities of daily living, knowing the difference between whether it was daytime or nighttime. I mean, these were real challenges for her, her husband, and her family. And she became a 24/7 client 2 weeks into our business. And we didn't know if we could really support that level of care that she needed, but our team rallied, we got the caregivers in place, and she became a client that we all knew very, very well. I mean, our caregivers really, really care about her and her family. As she transitioned over to a memory care facility, we knew that our hours were going to be diminished as memory care stepped up. But we had her for almost 4 months. And what was interesting, you want to get into a business, our heart was to get into a business that was impactful to people. What we saw was actually as we lost her to memory care, which, you lose clients in this business for a lot of different reasons. But as we lost this client to the memory care support, it was almost like a positive transition when some of these
Mhm.
transitions can kind of be negative.
Yeah.
We felt like we really impacted her and her husband to live the quality of life that she could best live up until the point that it became obvious to our staff
Hmm.
that our limits had been reached in our ability to help them. And so
Mm,
memory care really was the best place for her. It was sad to see her go, but at the same time, we also felt a very big sense of accomplishment in what we had done for their family for 4 months.
nice. Thank you for sharing. And this has just been so wonderful. You've had so much
Mm.
wisdom throughout this interview already. So, as you think of yourself going through this process, so are candidates who are currently looking at right at home for ownership. So, what would be the biggest piece of advice that you would give them?
Hmm. Well, you said trust the process. I think that it is your business. You can do things your way. I don't, I've never felt like someone was forcing me to do something that was not within the general constructs of good business practices in any way. But I
Mhm,
would say trust the process, especially early on.
mhm,
Really embrace the fact that you're paying as a franchisee, you're paying for someone to help show you the ropes and get you the manuals and get you compliant and keep you compliant. They understand, right at home understands what it takes to recruit caregivers, what it
mhm,
takes to recruit clients, how to build relationships in the marketplace, and really don't try, probably for the first 4 to 6 months, to venture out on your own and do it a different way. Just
mhm,
really stay with what your coaches are teaching you. Your markets will definitely have their own little nuances. We just found a nuance the other day when we were doing some sales and marketing that in the state that we're in Colorado, they have some restrictions on some things that our pitch package would tell us to go do, but it's kind of restricted in some aspects
mhm,
in
mhm.
fulfilling that completely. And so you have to adjust and modify, and we have the freedom to do that, of course. But really just stay in that process. Ask good questions. Don't be afraid to reach out. You are not by yourself in this. You
Mm.
came in as a franchise. You're paying franchise fees for marketing and all this other support network. Use it.
Wonderful. Thank you. And thank you for, pursuing a business that has purpose. It's evident that you're in this to impact not only the clients and the staff, but the community you serve. So, for that, thank you. And we are very lucky to have you as part of our
Oh, that's so
family.
kind. That's
All
so
right.
kind.
Thank you, TJ.
Yes. Nice to see you, Jenna.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.